Christmas, that's the moment when everybody returns home. We sit together on long and large tables, we eat and drink together, and usually we start discussions. In my family, it's about 20 people that join around the table, and sometimes the discussions get very passionate. On the 24th of December 2016, we met in the house of my sister. She's a fantastic chef. We had good food. And then the discussion started. And one topic was very passionately discussed. It was the situation that we had many refugees from Syria in our country in that year. And the older and male members of my family said, we have to push them back. We should not allow them to come to our country. And the younger people said like, what about charity? What about being open? But we did not really succeed, so in the end we stopped the discussion because of Christmas peace. The next morning though, the whole gang came to my place, where I usually hold the Christmas lunch on 25th. And I don't invite only the family members, but also like single friends or people who don't have family. So usually it's a colorful crowd coming together. And while we had aperitif that day, a beautiful, very cultivated woman entered the room. And everybody asked like, who's that? And then I presented her as the mother of a student who was currently living with us. And she originally came from Damascus. And she has come to Europe in a refugee boat, together with her 2 daughters. And she currently was looking for a job in Vienna, because she used to be a doctor. So the male members of my family offered her a place between them and said, yes, come and sit with us, because she was a beautiful woman. And a very charming discussion started. We had good food, we had some very good wines, some from my own vineyards, some bottles that my friends brought. And we even had a wine from Turkey that the Turkish friend of my uncle has brought. So we discussed grape varietals, dishes, recipes that were not so different between Turkey and Syria. And then at a moment, the lady offered a cake to us, and she said, this is the cake that we usually eat for Christmas in Syria. And usually we also gather the whole family like you do here. And her voice was very sad. So after the lunch, the man of my family said, wow, what a great woman. And she has so much experience. And wow, we can be very lucky that we have her here in our country, and we can learn from her, and we should use it. So what has changed during that lunch? First of all, my family changed their perspective on Syrian refugees. Secondly, the Syrian family changed their perspective on Austrians. Third, the Turkish guy learned that not all Syrians are terrorists. And fourth, we all got a new recipe for a Christmas cake. So what we need, I would say, is a lot of long and large tables to integrate in our times where we have a lot of isolation. So I have built up 2 very long tables, one in my private apartment and one in my winery. And there I do not only family gatherings, but also commented tastings. So people can buy a ticket, they sit down at the table next to people they don't know. And so in the beginning, they usually don't talk to each other. Then after 2 or 3 wines, things change. They start to talk each other. They exchange ideas about the smell, the body of the wine, the acidity, the aroma. And they start to agree or to disagree about the taste of the wine. They start to laugh together. And this is a magic moment, because then those invisible walls between strangers break down, and something like a joint event, a joint team appears. And everybody feels so much better now. I love this moment. It's very magic. And now I understand why it is magic, because I read a book of a German bioneurologist. And the book is called Our Social Brain, and explains that so many things happen thanks to hormones that we produce. And if we have this moment of synchronization, that we talk to each other, or that we do things together, or that we discuss things, that we exchange sensations, this moment of synchronization is the moment where our body produces a hormone that is called oxytocin. It's a very famous hormone. Maybe you know it. It's also produced between mother and baby while breastfeeding. And it's also produced during orgasm. So this is why wine tasting is so sexy. Now I understand it. So we need these moments of analog experiences together, especially in our times where we are so fast and efficient in everything, and because of digitalization. But this is also a danger for us. Already back in 2019, a group of Canadian doctors have published a study on the effects of screen time. So they have observed and interviewed pupils and students in the greater area of Montreal between 2012 and 2018, long time ago. And they have proved that every additional hour of screen time increases the symptoms of depression. Because you sit at home on your couch in your pyjama and you eat bad food and you see the beautiful lives, the colorful and glamorous moments of other people while you are at home. But the other thing is also that usually you are exposed to these algorithms when you are alone. And being alone is probably the biggest problem for us, even if we are not aware of it. But scientists have proven it in a study that they have been doing in the United States in 24, just after COVID. They have published the result of a study, and they have compared the behavior of people in states with very strict lockdown rules against people in states with very easy lockdown rules. And in those states with severe lockdown, people went to see facilities for mental health 18% more than in the other states. And if it comes to women, it was even 24%. So being alone is not good for us. And this brings me to one of my favorite topics, which is home office. Because while doing job interviews, especially with Gen X people, for them it's very, very important that they have a maximum of days of staying at home and doing remote work. And they tell me that they are much more efficient if they do not need to go out, to dress up, to travel to the office, and if they are not disturbed by their colleagues during the work. And yes, maybe they are more efficient, but I know that it's not good for us. And I found this study that proves it. And it says, we are much more resilient to bad situations in our lives if we have a more complex self. It's a higher self-complexity. It means that we change ourselves several times during the day. Imagine you wake up as a mother. Then you enter the train like hundreds of other passengers. It's a different role. Then you go to your work, and you work either in a team or you lead it. It's different positions. And maybe after your job, you go to sports where you are a star or a loser. It's different. And then maybe you have dinner with a new lover who adores you. And then you go home to the old one who bores you. A different situation. So you have changed yourself several times during the day, and this apparently is very good because it's a higher self-complexity. And very often that change of roles also includes the change of the dress. So make it very simple, in simple words and short. It's better you change your outfit several times a day than staying in your jogging trousers all day. So we should expose ourselves to analog situations as often as possible in order to stay healthy and to stay well. Like invite your friends to a dinner party. Yeah, that's great. But it's also a lot of work, isn't it? It's much easier to do everything online. You work online, you shop online, you date online. And on the other hand, if you invite your friends, you have to find a date for everybody, which is complicated because everybody is so busy. Then you have to clean up your apartment. You have to think about what you are going to cook. You have to do shopping. You have to wash your hair. You have to set up the table. Wow, it's a lot of work and so complicated. You have to call everybody again because they've already forgotten that they have confirmed to come. Cancel culture rules. So, yes, it's a lot of work. But then, when they ring at the door and you open it, it's really a fantastic moment. Everybody has dressed up because they like the moment as well. You bring them to the table, which is nicely set. You start eating, you start drinking. You have good conversations. Isn't that a perfect moment? Much better than just going through your contacts online. Maybe the next day you're a little bit tired, okay. But it feels so much better. And wine is a perfect tool for creating such analog moments of synchronization. You open one bottle or two, you share it, you discuss how it smells, how it tastes, how it evolves, whether it's better in this glass or in this glass. And you share emotions, you share your sensations. That's this kind of synchronization for the famous hormone. And that's why we feel so good if we do wine tastings together. You don't drink alcohol? I'm sorry for you. But there is other ways to synchronize. For example, singing. I sing in a choir. Every week for 2 hours we sing Bach. It's not very easy. You have to focus, you have to concentrate. But it's the most obvious way of synchronization, ideally. So if you do that, if you sing together with 90 people for 2 hours, you feel so good afterwards. It's like a very fast psychotherapy. Like meditation, you have to focus, especially if it's challenging, like Bach. You cannot think about your bookkeeping or about what you are going to shop. You have to focus on singing, and that cleans your brain, and it's a very, very analog experience. So I invite you to open your calendars, to look for possibilities to invite your friends to do analog things. Do it now. And then put it into your calendar like a fixed moment as you do your medical checks. And for the same reason, to stay healthy. Thank you.